Welcome to the Books, Beards, Booze podcast, where we talk books, drink booze, and have beards.
All right. As always, I am Bob of Tales by Bob.
I'm the Ask the Podcast, Derek.
I am
Whiny Consultant, Tanya.
creative consultant Tanya. I had to
I don't
change
know.
the jingle up.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought mine was accurate.
The time that you're hearing this, Bob is in New Zealand.
Upside down.
I'm upside down.
Round and round.
Woo! So
I really hope that you can bring back some wombat poop.
What?
it's cubed.
No, I'm aware, but
Yeah.
why would...
I have dinosaur poop. I bought some. A crocolite.
What's it like to murder a person?
Coprolite.
Whatever.
Coprolite.
What's it like to murder a person?
It's just warm.
Pleasing.
Just
Sensual faps?
Sensual faps. So
get you some of these sensual stabs.
Oh.
I want to know, guys, what are y'all reading? I'll start out. I'll tell you what
Okay.
I'm reading. I just finished A Conspiracy of Truths by Alexandra Rowland. So it's really good. Like, there's not really much in the way of action, but it's not fantasy of manners. Not really. Derek, you need to read this because there's a lot of bureaucracy. Basically, the book opens.
What you got? What's that supposed to mean?
This guy has been arrested for witchcraft, but he's not a witch.
Nice.
But he's just caught, and he gets caught up in this bureaucracy, and everything goes to shit because he's a storyteller. That's his job. It's like a religious calling. He is a storyteller.
Right.
He's wound up in this shitty country and got arrested, and now he's just lying to cover his ass, basically. And
I dig it.
It stirs up a shitstorm.
What's the name of this?
A Conspiracy of Truths. So here's a quote from it. Gave me a bit of a vindictive thrill to think about it. As long as I was being sentenced to death for a crime, why not go ahead and commit that crime?
Ooh,
the only reason not to would be to take the moral high ground, and frankly, fuck that.
Big relatable.
That's a big Tanya move.
Oh,
Big
God.
relatable.
It's great.
Love that.
I just finished it. Fantastic. Can recommend.
That's great.
But if you're looking for something that's like high action, this ain't the book.
It, yeah.
There's some political wrangling, but most of the political wrangling happens off screen. It's like he does things, and then because he's locked away in prison, he hears about what happened, kind of secondhand kind of deal. And
Neat.
it's a fun book. Highly recommend it. The sequel is available for pre-order now, and when you read it, he has an apprentice that's learning to be they call him Chance. Mm-hmm. He's apprentice Chant, and apparently the second book is about him, and the apprentice is he's in this book he's like a 17-year-old boy that like falls in love with every good-looking guy that comes around, like just instantly, like it like falls in love like 3 times a week kind of deal.
Also big relatable.
And it it's great. Check it out. It's awesome.
Did you get that on KU?
Yes, I did read it on KU. I had heard about it. Some people had recommended it, and I think it popped up on sale, and I got it. But it's on. No, it's not on KU. It's just a Kindle book.
Oh, it's just a Kindle book,
Just a
but
Kindle
not
book,
on KU.
but it's not on
Cool.
KU.
Okay.
What
am I
are
reading?
Yeah, what are you reading?
I am deep into Well of Ascension, the second Mistborn book.
Yeah,
Ooh, getting real close to being done with that.
yeah,
Ends pretty solid.
yeah.
I'm not there, but
All of Sanderson's books end great. That's a criticism
his
of
thing,
him
yeah.
is that his books slow burn, kinda.
well,
Not slow burn.
setting up a whole bunch of things,
It's
and
like
then just
80% set up for a 20%
click, click,
boom.
click, click.
Yeah. So
Roller
that's a
coaster.
criticism that's lobbed at him. But
I
like
like
if
it.
you like it, you like it. If you
I like
don't,
it.
you don't.
So
I'm okay.
far-
I'm okay with it.
So far, Bob, this world that I'm in
Yeah.
with the Mistborn
Yeah.
stuff, while sad, is not as bleak as you make it out to be. But maybe book 3 or the very last of book 2 here will change my mind.
Well,
just
when
don't.
you're done with the series, we'll have a discussion.
Okay.
Yeah.
I might even reread them.
Yeah.
going into it.
No, I just love it so much. And I'm doing these in Audible, and the narrator is
good.
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
great.
that's how I did 'em.
So great. Yeah. So that's where I'm in. I'm in deep into Well of Ascension.
Nice.
Looking forward to wrapping that up.
Yeah. Derek, what are you reading?
I'm reading Jade War by Fonda Lee.
How is it? Is it comparing? How does it compare? Are you doing Audible?
I have it on Audible, but I also
Rereading it.
Yeah, I have the
Hardback.
Yeah.
So how does it compare so far?
As
As good, worse than, better than? I know it's early, but
Well, I'm 100 pages in of a 500-page book.
okay.
20% for those math folks.
Yeah,
Ooh.
yeah.
Don't clutter us
but
up with math.
it's good.
Okay.
That's 3 quick maths.
I will say I'm so far not enjoying it as much as there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
It's just there were certain things in the first one that I liked more.
Okay.
Namely, you know what it is?
School setting.
Well, it's not necessarily that so much as the fact that Hilo is now the pillar.
Oh, and you're not a big fan.
It's just it was more fun when he was allowed to go out and about more.
Okay.
And
I can see that.
be in the thick of things a little bit more.
I kind of feel like that's part of mine and Bob's criticism of the first one about why Hilo should not be pillar.
Well, we're not
Oh
opening
no,
that
no,
can
I'm
of
not
worms
saying
yet.
I'm not saying that it's I'm not saying like in character it's not working. In fact,
Yeah.
I think you will be surprised once you start reading
Okay.
this one.
Okay.
I hope I'm pleasantly surprised.
But
They're all
it's
gonna
just
die.
it's just one of those. Yeah, well, considering things that
Yeah.
the interactions between her and Nicholas Eames on Twitter, where
Yeah.
he was like, and Hilo survives at the end of the third book, and everybody goes home happy, and she's like, yeah, about that.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, but
Okay.
I don't know. It's been really good, but I'm also still reading The Perfect Assassin by K.A. Dore. I don't really know how to say it.
Are you doing that Audible?
No,
Or,
I was just in the middle of that, and
You were in the middle of that when Jade War came out? Kind of deal?
basically,
Okay.
and I've been struggling with that one. But it's so different than anything I've read, and it's kind of got like this whole. There's a thing going on where there's like spirits. There's a world building aspect that's built into because the whole story is like someone is being killed, like these people are being assassinated. He is an assassin. The people that they are going to be blamed for this if he can't hunt down who it is that's doing it.
Yeah.
That's the story. But then there's this whole aspect of like angry spirits that
Okay.
are acting out of character, and I don't know what the hell that's all
Yeah.
about.
Okay.
And that's been interesting. So I'm like, okay, I'm kind of digging it, but there's also stuff I really don't like.
Yeah. Speaking of spirits, a reminder: this month we're drinking Suntory Toki. Still sipping on that. Still got some left in the bottle. We'll be drinking on that all this month.
All month, all day, air day.
All day, air day.
No.
So
I'm deciding I have to stop.
have to cut back on the
Yeah, my wine nights.
wine nights.
Oof.
Turned into a bit of a wine mom.
Yikes! I ain't got no kids to justify all
Cats?
this wine. No, my sweet Sherbert. She's turned into such an old lady, and she missed me.
She probably
Anyway,
told you that,
Okay.
huh?
On that note,
She did.
so this week, what we're jabbering on about is
On a boot.
You want to fight me, bro?
what are the best fight and battle scenes that like what are our favorites, some of the best, what have been executed well. And I want to start us off just generally. So I think like a good fight scene and a good battle scene are very different things.
Right.
You know? Like, and I was just wondering if anyone wanted to comment on like what makes a good battle scene versus a good fight scene. Derek.
Well, I was just going to point out,
Yeah.
because similarly as the last time we had one of these conversations where I took things in a different direction, I'm going to be doing that on this one too,
Okay.
because I have like some answers of like, these are good ones,
Yeah.
but it's like, what are you looking for and
Yeah.
what purpose does it serve in this story? Like, there are a lot of different styles of combat and you use them for different things in a
Yeah.
book. So it depends how you want to use it.
So I would say just broadly speaking, very broadly speaking, battles tend to be plot devices. Fights tend to be character building. Like, plots are more about character growth to a degree, and battles tend to be more plot oriented. Like, obviously there's a lot of overlap in between them, but just most battles, the function of a battle is to move the plot in a major direction. And certainly fight scenes can do that as well. But fight scenes...
Well, they're more personal because
more
you deal
personal,
with fewer
intended-
people in a fight scene versus a battle scene.
And of course, this is not a hard and fast rule. I'm just speaking generally that fight scenes tend to be more character growthy.
Well, because by nature they're smaller in scope.
Yeah.
So their relevance, while it can be very widespread, an individual fight can have large ramifications, but for the most part, it's more important for the people in the fight rather than the whole big ass battle that's deciding the direction of a country or the trajectory of
The
good,
story
good
itself.
and evil. Yeah, the story itself. So I can get down with that.
And it's also, but on the other hand, you have to take in consideration the fact that I can't words it right now.
Okay.
But
Well, so do we want to talk more about battles first or fights first? Like,
Well, I really kind of lapsed on... I don't read a lot of things that have battles in it.
Yeah.
I'll put it that way. I don't have a lot of battle books.
yes, you do.
But I have a battle bots. No, I have Lord of the Rings.
yeah.
It's like my favorite battle scene for them is the fucking treants, man. The ants,
Isengard?
the Battle of Isengard. It's just neat. Like the trees scooping up and lobbing things at each other, and just trees literally uprooting themselves to be like, we've had it. Stomp, stomp.
Yeah.
I just love it.
So I'm gonna make a point, and I thought, I love sieges. It's no secret. If you listen to this podcast, I love sieges more than any healthy man should.
Heists and sieges.
Heists and sieges. And I think I've figured out why.
Why?
Sieges are the best battles to read about. Because the fighting is consistent, but you have significant amounts of downtime. Like, the fighting technically never stops. There's always people outside the gate that are always lobbing shit at your walls and yada, yada,
so
yada.
it keeps the tension high.
So the tension is high, but you have the downtime to do the character interactions and stuff somewhat unimpeded inside.
Yeah.
That's why sieges are the best. You get that high action, the high tension of a battle.
But still some characters.
But it's
It's
the
a
only
slow burn.
It's the only way you can drag out that over the course of a book, really, and do it well. And that's
With the
why
exception of things like, what was the second Malzahn book? The Trail of, or the Dog?
Oh, the Chain of Dogs.
Yeah, which you liked. It was like
I
a
did.
slow retreat while they're fighting the whole time.
Oh yeah, that was amazing. That was one of the, but that was more of a military campaign,
right?
Which you don't really see a lot.
You stopped right before a really good book 2 or 3, I think it's 3 of the Raymond E. Feist second series.
Oh, okay.
There's an invasion of Midkemia, and one of the main characters basically becomes a battle leader and is basically commanding the army over the course of...
There's some, like the 10,000 Names by Django Wexler.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what it's called. That's a military campaign. And you definitely get military campaigns. I do like military campaigns because they're it's kind of for the same reasons as a siege.
Right, exactly. That was the point I was...
A lot of high tension, like, because a military campaign, like, your army is always surrounded, technically, if not at that very moment. There's always enemies out there that could attack at any moment to some degree. So there's that tension. You're an army in the field. You're going and doing stuff.
Which I would assume is why you liked even the other Black Company part before the siege, because they're in a area
military campaign.
They're in an area that is hostile to them.
Basically, a long retreat. That's kind of Chain of Dogs-esque. I never made that connection until now, but so sieges. I think sieges are the best battles that you can have in a book, because you get the tension with also the opportunity for consistent character growth.
Right.
I dig it.
But what are the best sieges? Oh, son. There are 3. 3 best sieges. Although, Derek, I did just start reading this Spellmonger book.
How you liked it so far?
I've only read like the first couple chapters, but he woke up hungover and started throwing spells.
Yeah.
Basically, it's pretty good.
Yeah,
I'm,
it's been fun.
I'm digging the magic system too. It's got a great
I
cost,
really like
cost
it.
reward
Right.
kind of deal too. I'm digging that. Anyway, but the 3 best sieges in no particular, in particular order. Number 3, Siege at Charm.
I was about to say it's got to be
Black
Charm.
Company, first book, climactic end, kinda. It's not quite the end, but you think it's the end kind of deal. Siege at Charm.
I don't
It's
know.
amazing.
I would say it's the climactic end because there's still the resolution that comes down.
Right, yeah.
But that is the peak of the.
Yes. Yeah.
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 Yeah. I just got done
Yeah.
rereading that.
No, so Siege at Charm is one of my all-time favorite sieges. It's amazing. It's overwhelming. Hordes are coming. Like they're outnumbered like 20-1, like some stupid amount. But huge magics are going, tricks and traps and crazy elephants and just all sorts of crazy shit. It's great. Number 2, you would think you couldn't beat Siege at Charm in the same series, but they do. Siege at Dejagor. It's in the Books of the South. Basically, the Black Company gets split. Some of them get trapped inside the city. Some are on the outside. Crazy shit. It's great. Some of the Black Company are going nuts, eating people like the Nar go ham.
They're just sitting there gnawing on people.
Yeah, going back to the old ways. But that's where they meet up with the Nugan Bao and like cool shit. But number one
is Legend.
Legend. The whole book is a siege, pretty much.
And Druss is awesome.
Druss is amazing. It's fucking great.
I need to reread that.
The Drenai books have a number of good sieges in them. I can think of 2 others off the top of my head, but the Legend, what is it, Dros Delnok, I think.
That sounds right.
It's a 6-walled. It's a pass in a mountain. It's the only pass that you can use to move an army through it. It's got 6 walls. They've only got like 10,000 people to guard this whole ass 6-walled enclosure, and there's basically the Mongol horde is coming. It's great. And lots of cool character stuff. The Count of Brass comes into his own. His lady friend, they hook up. Like lots of cool stuff going there. Druss is running around being a badass. Like in dealing with the age, like he's an old warrior. Like
that's part of the strength of Kings of the Wild was just the coming to grips with your age kind of thing.
Funny you should mention that.
All right.
Because that look on my face while you were talking, I actually wrote down Kings of the Wild portal scene, but I didn't click in my head that that's a battle.
Yeah.
Just like them zipping through the portals and then just like you're underwater and just like that whole whole thing, just like them old ass like dun 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 dun, dun just like that was. Loved it.
Great.
Even though that was the Wicked Witch of the West sound.
Well, that's fine.
Close enough.
That's fine.
I loved it. Loved it.
So that to me, those are the best battles. If you, for me, there's some other good like more traditional battles, but sieges are best. Those are the best
there's
sieges.
a siege that I would say is either just below those or comparable, but they are less battle, more fight.
Okay. And what are they?
I can't talk about it.
Okay. That's
Oh. Is it spoilers?
spoilers.
Yeah.
Okay.
The spoilers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair.
Can you
But
tell me where
it's-
it's from?
The book you're currently
Oh,
reading.
my book.
Okay.
Well, I mean, we are. I know. I'm currently in the middle of a siege.
Right.
I
yeah.
am beset by 3 armies
But-
currently.
Shit goes down. It's pretty cool.
Shit is already kind of happening. Or like, oh no, you've made a mistake. You done fucked up, Vin.
Hey, Ron.
Vin, what'd you do? No, I think this is a oopsie.
Yeah, but yeah, I really enjoyed that one just because there's 2 real good scenes in it.
Oh wow! Wow. Tanya just forgot how to breathe. What did you do? Did you just swallow your own spit down the wrong throat? Wrong throat. That's why you have two throats. You good?
I was trying to like
talk as
inhale, and then I was also trying to be like, Derek, do you want me to just earmuffs so you can
no.
talk
I'm
about
pretty
this?
sure Bob will remember what I'm
Well,
talking about.
does our listener? No.
Well, we don't want.
no.
They could be reading it.
yeah.
We won't go spoilers on that.
Okay,
Right.
okay. I just
It's good.
Yeah, no,
was gonna
we're fine.
earmuff so that you could have a
No, you're good.
discussion
No,
for
we're
our
good.
listener,
We're
and then I
fine.
just killed myself. So it's great.
Do you have another battle there?
No, everything else here
Fights?
is
Okay, Derek, do you have some battles
So-
that you really like?
Yes.
I'm sure there's some Feist ones that have got to be
well,
tickling
because he's so
your-
feisty. You might gotta have some.
You know, actually, one of the
So
main
stupid.
I know you are, but one of the main fights in Magician when when Creedy is being sieged by the Serani.
Yeah.
That's really fun. It's a prolonged thing, and it does. The only problem is it goes away and comes back to it. I wish if it had like stayed on them for longer, it would have been cooler.
Well, it does that in the Siege of Charm too. Like,
Yeah, but-
it's like it's building towards a climax, and then it's like, oh, Croker, we need you to go over here real quick, and he comes.
and he's the viewpoint.
Yeah,
so
he's
it's
the
like,
viewpoint, so he
ugh.
comes back as
After
like
everything went
he's
down.
just
for the most
like,
part. What the
fuck?
fuck?
So, but you do get a ton of good siege
Yeah.
leading up to that.
But that's a pretty good scene. But honestly, what I think the best battles, and you'd think that this series, as much as I love it, would have a lot of good fights because spoiler alert, I'm partial to fights.
Yeah, I figured you'd have some thoughts on this one.
But battles, Wheel of Time, they don't really do fights; they do battles.
Yeah.
And
Well,
it's
it's because it's definitely more like saving the world, but like countries getting involved towards saving the world.
But also, even individual fights are treated like battles because they don't go into depth when it comes to the back and forth of the characters. And this is a common praise for Robert Jordan is the fact that since he went through, if I'm remembering correctly, he was in Vietnam, so he doesn't treat combat like
glorify it.
He treats it like he's not going to tell you everything that's happening. He's just going to show the emotional impact and the general scene of like craziness. Everything's going wiki wild around you, and you trying to fucking cope and survive.
If I remember correctly, Glenn Cook is also a veteran, and that's why like a lot of people who read the Black Company, because like the Books of the South, it's kind of set in India, but there's parts of it that kind of come across a little Vietnam-y at times.
Mm-hmm.
And like a lot of people, like a lot of veterans have read the Black Company series, and they really like it for like the realistic portrayals of like life in camp, basically, and stuff like that. So,
but I think those are really good. And one particular one is the main fight at the end of book 2, where the horn is blown. That there's a huge fight between essentially 3 armies. One army of baddies, another army of baddies, and the main characters are in the middle, and they blow a horn and bring back the heroes of legend. And there's just this, like, it's not a fight, it's a battle, because it's showing everything going wiki wild around. Like, there's no detail specifically for the most part in the combat. It's just like things are happening all around, and people are like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Well, like, talking about that, like, going back to what Tanya mentioned, Lord of the Rings, there are
tons of battles.
But several of them happen off screen.
Yeah.
But the ones you get on screen, Helm's Deep. That's a siege, and it's my favorite battle on there.
That's what I thought she was going to say.
But it does show Pelennor Fields, which is great. Which in the movies is actually the best one. The movie's Pelennor Fields. That's when the Rohirrim come riding down like the huge wave of them down the side of like the hill, like charging. And
when is this? What movie is this?
The last one, yeah.
You think it was better in the movie context? You think it was better than the Siege?
Yeah, I do.
Everybody loves the Siege.
I do love the Siege, but no, I just for me. So one of my favorite, like if outside of sieges, if you're doing a thing in a battle a like charge like they do in that movie,
Is just
like
up there.
it makes my dick flutter.
Yeah,
like I
okay.
just God. So
Takes you from 6 to 9.
the way you see
Or at
their
least to
helms
7.5.
are glinting, like it's been like the fight is all kind of dark, and you just see all of a sudden like it's like hope is lost, but then
Yeah.
oh my God, now there's like 2,000 guys on horses coming up the hill right now.
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah.
Yes.
That's fair. But like battles, there's a lot of good battles, but
Yeah. I want to talk about one problem with battles that and also a problem with fights. This is the number one thing that I think people do poorly, and this is just a symptom of a larger problem: power creep. Okay?
Yeah.
right.
There's few things I hate more than a guy fights a creature one-on-one or one-on-two or something like that, and he struggles
Right.
to beat them. And then now all of a sudden it's a battle,
And he's taking them out with a single.
yeah, like now it's like, oh my God, it's like, okay, it's hard, but oh man, we're cutting them down, like, yeah, it's hard, but we're still cutting them. I hate that power creep of like, if you make them look so hard to defeat one-on-one, you can't have them be easier to cut down in a massed melee like
Well,
that.
I'll push back and say that you can, but you better have a reason for it.
Yes, yeah.
It can't just be adrenaline.
For example, in Wheel of Time with Trollocs, fighting one-on-one the first time, they're bigger and stronger than humans.
Yeah.
But in a large group, they're going to be getting in each other's way.
Yes.
And they're
And
completely
Yeah,
disorganized.
there are definitely ways to do it and do it right, but I just that's
in
a
general,
a
that
general
is
problem
an
that
issue.
I see happen a lot. It's just like, okay, man, I struck like book 1, it was all I could do to kill one of
A
them
thing,
one-on-one,
yeah.
and now by book 3, and yes, I realize you've
Characters-
grown and whatnot, but
Right.
still, like, you're cutting down 30 of them by yourself in a go. Like, come on now.
And that's why Lan is the best, because he
Did
can
you see
always
did you
fight
see they
everything.
cast? They just
yeah,
cast
he's.
him. I didn't know the guy, but I
I
think
saw a picture of him, like, just he's got the broad shoulders. He's a big dude.
and like,
or, yeah.
and he's got the Asian cast to his features. 'Cause
Right.
weren't all the?
See, I always, and as soon as I saw that, I was like, oh, I don't know if they're supposed to.
I think
'cause
they
know
are, because that's why the Heron mark.
Here's the issue I had with it. I don't think they're. I'm going to be okay with it, even though because they're not supposed to be Asian.
Are you talking about Wheel of Time?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry.
sorry,
Casting of Land, Man,
okay,
Dragon.
thank you.
Who's the best character in anything ever?
Yeah.
By the way, side note: did you ever hear Robert Jordan's quote about how he wrote, like how he could write his characters about Lan? They were asking him how he wrote his characters or whatever like that, and he was like, "For Lan, he was always really easy. I just wrote about the man I wish I was,
Nice.
and that's Lan."
Nice.
So, but for him, like the Valkyrie and stuff like that, their culture is very Asian flavored, but they themselves weren't like visually,
Yeah.
they weren't Asian because the Shan Chan were Asian visually.
Okay.
So I'm kind of annoyed by that, but it's close enough where I just don't care.
Yeah.
So about them fights, though.
Yep. So I'm just going to make a general point. I
Reeling
think
it back in.
it would be fair to say, universally speaking, probably the person most consistent at writing great fight scenes, Brandon Sanderson.
Yes, he's the correct answer.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love how he, in the middle, it seems like when he's writing a fight scene, he definitely has everything plotted out in his mind where he knows where things are at every given moment, so that as a reader, you're not like, wait a minute, I thought that was over there, and now suddenly that thing is, he just got bumped into that, but I thought that was a couple streets over.
Mm-hmm.
So he has just a really good mind for the placement of things in the environment.
And making sure you are reminded of where everything is because it's relevant. Because of how much detail he goes into.
And like if he talks about something, he's not gonna like,
say
oh,
for no
they
reason.
walked past this box of crates and then they go 6 blocks and they get tossed into the same box of crates, like just for effect. And like
not gonna happen,
I just love it. There's a lot of thought and plotting put into it, and not just from the I need you to hit him in the face.
He writes anime fight scenes.
Right. Which was my next point.
They are anime fight
There's
scenes.
I have a lot of issues with him, and we've discussed this from a plotting standpoint. However, the thing I like about him most is he writes fight scenes like I write like I like to read the fight scenes that I read.
Yeah.
Like It's role players' realm. It's momentum. It is super detailed combat that takes into consideration the environment, because it's not looking at it from a broad perspective backwards. It's super close in because he's going for like an action choreographed thing, something you would see in a movie. He's trying to show you that thing, which is what I like.
I have 4 fights, and 2 of them are like from Sanderson stuff.
I figured y'all would probably bring up Sanderson fight scenes.
Yeah.
And battles interest me more than fights.
Right.
Like I love military sci-fi. Is one of my favorite genres. Like, and I didn't even touch any of that because I felt like we were doing more fantasy based here.
Yeah.
At a later date, I could do a bonus episode talking military sci-fi because I fucking love that shit. But so the only one I thought to bring up is in the Eli Monpress books, which everyone should fucking read because they're fucking great. It has very anime style fight scenes, and just great. Like, I can't remember the character's name off the top of my head, but so it's Eli Monpress, basically a demon trapped in a girl's body, and the swordsman has the world's greatest sword, but he refuses to use its power. So he fights people, and it's very anime style. Like, he fights them until they like he's not going to use the powers of his sword. He's just going to fucking beat them without it. Because if he has to use the sword, is he really the greatest swordsman then?
Oh.
And so, but then eventually,
so awesome.
But he gets to like a couple of fights eventually where he has to use the sword, and it's very anime style the way it's done.
Sounds great.
Made me think of Bleach. Like, it was very
So
Bleach-esque.
So you read so much more and so much faster than me. I would like to read more things that you feel that way about, because I like anime for a very specific thing, and I'm trying to quantify it so that I can.
Yeah, you need to read Eli Monpress because you like anime style fights. You like heists.
I do.
They're heist books. Fundamentally, they're kind of high. Eli Monpress is a thief trying to get the biggest bounty in the world. That's what he wants. He wants the biggest bounty in the world placed on him. And he's got a team assembled, and it's great.
Do we get to see him assemble the team?
No, the team is functionally assembled. But you do get to see him, fuck. No, just read them. Just read
Okay,
them.
okay, yeah. I gotcha.
Okay.
I don't want to spoil too much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what you got?
Fights.
That. Okay. So Jade City.
Because you said you had 4, right?
Yeah, I have 4. Okay. 2. All right. So my 2 Sanderson is just in general, like the end of the first Mistborn book where Ven's like they're tearing through the tower and shit. She's going after the Lord Ruler. That was fucking cool. It's just all of it. Just the whole mechanic of that. All of those fights.
Did you not like the Kelsier fight against the Inquisitor? His go down.
I was
swinging?
too nervous.
Yeah, that was really
I was too nervous
cool,
to
though.
really. I mean, hindsight, that was super fucking cool. But at the time, I'm like, "What are you doing, you dumb shit? Don't do that!
Run!"
The whole time you're reading, like,
It's
he's got spikes in his eyes. Don't do that thing.
it's basically my reaction when Neo's like, "I'm gonna fight this agent." You're like, "No, bitch, run, bitch, run,
oh, did you
bitch,
see them
run."
in a 4th Matrix?
I don't want to talk about it.
Can we stay even the slightest bit on topic?
No.
Go ahead. So I'm going to guess that your second one is the end of Warbreaker.
Where's the Sebron coming through and just like,
oh, is that the thing where all the
everything
color
turned
goes?
white and all the little
yeah.
the fucking
No, that was
noodle fabrics.
Badass.
Super fucking cool. Yeah, it was really great. So those are my 2 Sanderson ones. But from Jade City, the fight where like Hilo's fighting and then Andy comes in with that last little bit.
Oh,
that fight was real good.
What about the fight where Lan just falls into the water and drowns?
I feel like that's my fight and struggle every day. I don't need to. But also something poetic about it. But no.
Ow.
Too soon.
Too soon.
Oh. Too soon.
Too soon.
But no, that fight is just.
That was a really good fight. Just like you're like, oh fuck.
I liked it because you.
Andy for the win.
Well, see, I liked it because if you remember,
it was great.
That's pretty much the only time you see Hilo fight on screen. That's the first time you see him fight.
Because you see,
he's fucking terrifying. You see him fight like
you see
hand to
his
hand
fight.
against. You see him fight Andy.
You see his sister
fist
fight
to fist.
Yeah.
But you don't see, like, you still don't really understand.
You don't see him go all
You don't see him with his Talon knife, which is his thing. And then you see him fighting, you're like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
He just cut these fucking
He's like, I'm just going to fight these, like, 4 dudes by myself. It's cool. No worries.
Yeah, y'all just sit right here and watch. That was super cool. I really loved that whole fight scene.
Yeah.
And then just that, oh no, he did.
And then,
boop, just kidding, bitch. Oh,
Get
so
wrecked.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your last one?
Okay. You have read this book, Bob.
Okay.
Plumas Seg.
Oh,
by
which one?
Jude Foley. The end one, and I don't remember what Pipe Lord, the bad Pipe Lord.
The Bad Pipe Lord.
Yeah, okay. So Seg is
All right,
like,
well, we have to explain
this
briefly.
book is so fucking good, but the premise is so ridiculous.
So weird. It's so fucking weird. They're
10/10, definitely recommend.
They are all. There's no such thing as a plumber. There are only plumesses.
And you earn your fucking plunger, and you
Yeah.
go to like school and shit.
And it's like,
have we discussed this?
They're treated like priestesses.
Yeah,
like,
they're like priests
you
with, like,
deliver
magical
babies
powers.
by like
Plunging them out.
like suction cupping
Yeah.
babies out of vaginas.
No, it's insane. The premise is so ridiculous,
But
but
it's
the
done so
the
well.
execution
Do
is
they
done so
execute
well.
it? Well, question: do they execute it seriously?
Yes.
Or
It's
okay.
treated completely seriously.
And there's, to your point, there's one time when I'm like, oh, that's a little bit much.
Yeah.
Or it's like, if a man needs to defecate, will you help him defecate? And it's like, okay, yeah, he needs to
Yeah,
take
that's
shit.
like an oath that they
Yeah,
have to.
but
At
no.
one point, they make an oath, and like, okay, that oath was a bit much.
But no,
Bit
it
on the
is
nose.
100% straight-faced, and it is fabulous.
Yeah,
Fabulous.
ridiculous
what's-
premise, executed great.
So what's
Okay,
the?
so you've got, I just remember in my head, you've got this bad guy who's a pipe lord. I'm terrible at.
Pipe lords are like dukes, right? Or like
Okay.
kings, kind of deal. They rule a region.
So we've got this Plumas who doesn't have her license. No, Eck.
Oh, Eck.
Eck. So Eck, she's an unlicensed Plumas. So she's been
Scandalous.
Oh well, he's also a real dipshit bad guy of
Yeah.
a pipe lord, and so he's been rerouting water. It's this whole thing, thing. Well, he's on she's been tinkering with his throne because she's like, all these pipes are wrong. This is all stupid. Let me just fix this. So
Yeah.
she's tinkering with it. She's like, oh my god, this dipshit's sitting on a drain. Oh well, tinker, tinker, tinker.
And that's her specialty is drains.
Yeah.
She
will drain
phenomenal expert on
anything
drains.
out. Anything. She'll fucking drain it. She just goes like, hello, water. You need to leave now. And it works because she can talk to snakes.
Because there's some weird magical stuff going on here that's never fully explained, but there's like magic. There's magic.
It's great. It's
It's great. No,
so she tinkers with a throne and fixes the drain.
I can't tell if y'all are fucking with me or
we're
not.
not.
I am
Again,
100%.
I'll try and loan you this Audible book.
Okay, I just.
Yeah, it's really good. It's
Is
really
it a
good.
short read or?
What was it, like 10, 12 hours?
And
it's not super long.
Average book
Yeah.
on Audible. We got it
guy
complimentary
the
from
author gave it to
Reddit.
us. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So the bad guy's sitting on his drain throne and he's just being a real cock nugget. And our hero, Seg, comes in and she's like trying to find Eck, and her mentor is missing and all this other shit. And she's just like, I just remember everything flooding and the guy like trying to not get sucked down into the drain, and she's basically like beats him in the face with her plunger and some shit and like suction cups herself onto the wall. Like,
Yeah.
it's so good. It's
Yeah.
so good. It's ridiculous, but
not
great.
Yeah.
All at the same time.
Yeah. I've never read a book
I'm
like
describing
this.
it really horribly because that's me as a person.
Yes.
But
I've never read a book like this. It's great.
It's fabulous. It's just fabulous. Like this. Ugh. You just have to
Yeah.
read it.
Okay.
It's great.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll trust you on this.
Okay.
But just.
Derek,
Like they can talk through pipes with their
yeah.
like she just beats on things with her plunger and
yeah.
it's great.
So Derek, what are some fighty thoughts you got?
There's some. So, this is. I would argue this is not really a fight, but it's action oriented, so I'm going to use it.
Okay.
And this is,
I guess like that scene that I
Yeah.
just described, not really a fight.
which is why
because
it
the
made
Pipe
me,
Lord's not really doing anything other than be a twat waffle.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
But this is one of my favorite scenes I've ever read, and it's one of the reasons I started writing. You've read the book. It's in Magician Master, so the second half,
Yeah.
where Pug destroys the arena.
Okay. I vaguely remember that.
So
It's been-
basically, the main character is a failure as a magician over the course of the first book, becomes competent in the second book through reasons, and basically sees slave combat about to happen, and he's getting angry about it, and essentially the slaves refuse to kill each other, and the slave masters are like, okay, well then we're going to slaughter them. And everyone in the crowd is like, no, that's baller that they said no to you. Don't kill them.
yeah,
And they're going to do it anyways. Things go sideways. He loses his shit and basically destroys everything.
nice.
It rains fire, like fucking causes a hurricane, like at one point, if I'm remembering the quote correctly, and he's amplifying his voice so that all can hear him, he's like, fear and despair, for I am power. Or something along those
Nice.
lines. And he's
Nice.
just like, I do all of it. And he tears this entire place apart
Love it.
and sends an entire empire into turmoil. And he's like, oh, look at my wrist. It's time to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Oops. Yeah. Uh-oh. But at the same time, it's like he starts doing this, and then some other magicians are like, I'm going to stop you. And he's like, they're like shooting magic at him. He's like, this is not. Stop while you're ahead.
I'm not the droid you're looking for.
Yeah, basically, like they think there's something because they act, and it's funny because they used to give him shit. It's like, all you ever do is practice like throwing energy around. That's so barbaric. And he's like, yeah, well, when you start throwing energy at me, we'll see about that.
Yeah.
Because now you can't hit me with
All
anything.
you ever do is practice your craft.
Yeah,
Jeez,
all
what a
you-
nerd.
All you ever do is practice how to kill people, and then you're gonna try and kill him.
Yeah.
Anyways, so that's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
But like on the scale of small scale fight, one of my favorite scenes in the Wheel of Time, again, Wheel of Time, is when Matt Cawthon just got back from being super sick and fights two swordsmen at once. Two swordsmen that are on the verge of being blade masters, which in this world is a serious thing.
Yeah. Heron Mark Blade.
Yeah.
Goodness.
And he beats the shit out of both of them. But it's all not only does he beat the shit out of both of them, they had been making fun of the fact that he was going to fight them with a quarterstaff, and he whips the shit out of them both. But also, he just got out of a sick bed, so it's not just him fighting; it's also in his head going, "Oh shit, I'm losing all my strength. Oh
Yeah.
shit, I have to end this quick.
Yeah.
Oh shit, I'm fucked." And then him trying to figure out how to win it really fast.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite scenes. And then like the fights in the Jade books are really good.
Mm-hmm.
None of them super stand out to me right now because I can't remember like which one is my favorite, but they're all just awesome.
Yeah.
So,
I think my favorite is when they she leads the attack on their like that street. I can't remember the name of the street. And they like
the retribution for Land's
yeah.
death.
Yeah, that I think that was my
I liked
my
that
favorite
scene,
one.
but it to
because
me,
it had the most overall combat to it. Like most of the other fights are more one-on-one,
and they're pretty short. 'cause
yeah, and this was
somebody
more of
gets
a
run through.
Yeah, this is
or-
more of a Jade
Conti-
Blade's coming up the hill right now.
Yeah, and it was one of those things where it was like she didn't just fight a person; she fought a person, then another person,
Yeah.
then another person.
And there's other people around her fighting as well.
Yeah,
So
I think that was probably the one I kept thinking of, but I also couldn't tell if I didn't appreciate it more just for the impact of the character development.
well, it's also kind of a battle too. You know?
Yeah, exactly, and
So,
it was a huge character moment
Yeah.
for her. Like
True.
my favorite part
True.
about that whole thing is the entire book. She's like, "I've got no time for this, no time for this, no time for this." Her brother gets took out the game before she even goes to see her brother. She's like, "Go to the bank so I can get my fucking weapons."
Well, I mean, and I know we've talked about Jade City a lot, but I mean, I think that's really you find that in the real world. I can't come up with my words, but you know, like there's a lot of times you're like, no. But when shit hits a fan, it's like, no.
Nope. We ain't doing this.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I can no longer sit on the sidelines. You have done fucked up.
But
I
liked it because it almost came across like she wasn't even thinking. Like it wasn't even an option. She was like, no, by the way, just go there.
Yeah.
No. He was like, no, I'm supposed to take you home.
Yeah. Yeah, her just natural inclination.
Just do what I say.
Yeah. That's good.
But yeah, a lot of good fights, a lot of good battles. I love those things.
Oh yeah, they're great.
Put your dukes up, boys.
So we'll wrap up with Rianko sent me another product.
Oh man.
Yeah. So they're getting the antivirus software now.
Okay.
Yeah. So
do people still use antivirus softwares?
Yes.
Should I be using an antivirus software?
No.
Do people still get viruses?
No.
Is that a thing?
No one ever gets viruses.
I don't download the porns.
Yeah, you stream it.
Yeah, obviously. I don't download anything on the Napsters anymore.
Or the Kazaz.
Yeah.
Well,
LimeWires.
So, new from Rianko.
Okay.
Defense Shield 4K X12. This patented defense system prevents any incoming viruses by routing all computing through the Rian Cloud, their cloud-based computing system.
Okay.
Every keystroke, every program, every last bit of computing is handled behind the great Rianko firewall on the information gathering servers, which have withstood government attempts at breaching for over 7 years.
Actually, legit hyped about that.
Yeah. So, I mean, they have access to literally every bit of your data, but no one else
Which was what I was thinking this whole time.
But no one else does. Only
one else
Rianko.
does.
Only
Yeah.
you and Rianko.
And what would they would never do anything wrong with that.
of course, Rianko.
That's like the ultimate incognito mode, right?
Yeah. Quick, did you see that they were saying like incognito mode, that you're on incognito mode, but that Google and Yahoo and whatnot are still like you're on incognito mode, but they're still tracking every little bit and they record all that data and everything. And
the incognito just keeps it out of your browser history.
And
it's
like,
not
the headline I was
hiding
reading
to
was
do
like
things.
they were like someone had done like an investigative report on it, and it was disturbing at just how much information that they were recording.
All of it.
Yeah,
all the
like
time.
it was more than just like, oh my god.
I mean, have either of you used that website to see what they have on you?
No, I'd be probably low key ashamed.
You're gonna have to let me know what that is.
Yeah, you could.
You can request your info from Google.
Oh no, you don't even have to do that. You can literally just go to a website right now and download what they have on you. They will have audio files of you having conversations.
Can you verbalize that website now for our listenership?
No, because I can't remember where it is because I haven't actually done it myself.
Yeah.
I found it
I'm
on break at work on my phone, and
Okay, I know that this is off topic, but you kind of brought it up with your Rianko product. I got an email on my work email that's like, hey, you need to send us Bitcoins. Here's what your password is. You need to send us Bitcoins or we're going to...
Was it your password?
Yeah.
So,
But I only use one password everywhere for everything all the time.
Why
So
would...
I'm not super concerned about that. I'm changing.
You're about to get hit with ransomware.
Well, I don't know.
No,
That's why I'm going to use your Rianko product. It's fine.
Tanya,
Right.
Okay.
Like-
So on my work email, they're like, hey, you need to send us all these Bitcoins or we're going to release these videos that we took on your phone of you watching adult things.
And you're like, I don't watch adult things on my phone.
Oh. Yeah. Ooh. Ooh. I don't have internet at my house.
That's a good point. I'm gonna be to be perfectly honest. I remembered that as I was saying that, and I was wondering whether or not you were gonna let me just agree and move on.
No, I don't have internet at my house.
Well.
I definitely watch
fair
adult
enough.
things on my
Fair
phone.
enough.
Tanya caught out.
But I never paid them the
Bitcoin.
Bitcoins.
Yeah.
And I still have my job, so I'm assuming they didn't send out like
So
the 17 chins of me watching adult things on my phone.
okay, we'll discuss this
All right.
off
On
air.
that note, we're gonna wrap.
I just need this. What I'm saying is, I need this Rianko thing.
Yeah.
You don't. I do.
Wow.
Give me
Okay.
this.
On that note, as the googly-eyed Kahlua bottle of your week gazes down upon you, I hope that its coffee-like scent invades your senses, filling you with a sense of caffeinated warmth, and may the blessing of the beard be upon you.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Books, Beards, Booze. Our co-hosts are Bob, Derek, and Tanya. Our producer is Bob. For more information, visit our website, booksbeardsbooze.com. Follow our social media at Tales by Bob. If you enjoyed this podcast, please rate, subscribe, and share. Okay, bye.